What's going on, everybody? It's I'm a Diggity Donut, and today we are going to be ranking every POI in Chapter 3 so far. Let's get right into it. We have a few POIs, and let's start ranking. So first, we have Camp Cuddle. I don't really know what to do with this one. I think I'm going to put it at an average POI because I really never dropped there. It has quite a few mats and stuff like that. Not that much loot, but if there were no mats, I would put it in hot trash. Chonker Speedway. I'm going to easily put this one in an average POI. I just didn't like going there that much. There was a good amount of loot. There weren't that many mats other than some brick. The good thing about it was that you could take a Lambo and leave. Alright, now for everyone wondering why the Coliseum's in this list, it's because Logjam Lotus can change into a few different things like the Coliseum. Now I'm gonna have to put in hot trash, just because yes, you can get pretty good loot and stuff from them. Yes, you can get a decent amount of mats from them, but it's just why Covert Cavern. I'm gonna put this in the good section because it has a pretty good amount of loot and it had 2 bosses, which if you defeated both of them, you were good. It had a lot of loot. The one issue that wouldn't make it a better POI was there weren't too many mats at the POI. Outside of it, there were a few, or there was quite a bit of wood. Tilted Towers. I don't really know if I need to explain, but just to explain, it has an even amount of wood, it has an even amount of brick, and then it also has a good amount of loot, and it's gonna have a new section pretty soon. Coney Crossroads. For Coney Crossroads, I'm sorry, I love the POI. If you've watched any of my other videos, it shows you that I very much like dropping Coney. The reason that I'm putting it in the amazing category, maybe even in front of Tilted, is because I like it has a good amount of brick, has a good amount of wood. It's open on all sides because it's in the middle of the map. Then it also has a pretty good amount of loot, and it's good for challenges. Next, we have Condo Canyon. I'm gonna put this in an average POI because, well, there is a good amount of loot and an okay amount of brick. It's just the fact that when I drop somewhere, I want to get into early fights. If you want to get into an early fight, you're not going to be dropping Condo Canyon. Just not even close. This is Coral Castle. And everyone's like, oh, I would put it in hot trash. I actually like the POI.
What did he say?
I'm going to put it in an average POI. Now, I'm going to explain this. The entire place is a giant brick. And my favorite material is brick. So, I would just farm it. Yes, it didn't give you much. But also, Coral Castle was the place that the final zone was when I got my first win. And honestly, it has enough loot and mats to get you out of it so that you can get something else. Daily Bugle. I would say it's a good POI because if it has a good amount of brick in it, and then outside there's some wood and stuff. But if you want me to be honest, the reason that I'm putting it a good POI is because when you use the strategy where you would take the battle bus and ram down all the buildings, you would get so much loot, and that would be super worth it. So I would put it as a good POI, and it's not in front of Covert Cavern. Greasy Grove. I loved Greasy. This is not like the reality Greasy Grove, and yes, it's a very old picture. It's supposed to be Greasy Grove before it got absolutely trashed on. I would even put it to say if it's in front of tilted. I'm going to keep it back there for now. And then I'm going to rank all of them in a diagonal line at the end. But next is Lazy Lagoon. Yes, it's not in the game right now, but it's something else that Logjam Lotus could turn into. So I'm going to put it in hot trash because it gives a good amount of mats. So the thing is, now that I've realized that the Coliseum is down there, the Coliseum that reality would change the Logjam Lotus into, low key, it's actually a good POI, so I'm gonna put it in average POI. Now this is Logjam Lumberyard that is next. I would say that it's an average POI because there's a whole bunch of mats. There's a lot of good loot, but the thing is, if you want brick, don't go there, and stuff like that. And then also, usually when you drop there, there will be a lot of people, which is good for early fights. I'll give it to them. But you know, when there are a lot of people and they all drop in the exact same spot, I don't have that much fun. Reality Greasy. Everyone's like, oh, he should just put Reality Greasy right next to Greasy. I hate Reality Greasy. I love Greasy Grove. I hate Reality Greasy Grove. So my reason for this hatred is because it basically doesn't have any like actual trees. It doesn't really have any brick. The loot is, if you drop main building, the loot is terrible. You get a lot of floor loot, but barely any chest loot. And I don't like what they did to the POI. So I'm probably going to keep it at the back of average when I rank them like this. Now, Rave Cave. Rave Cave, I thought it was an average POI. There's a lot of average.
What did he say?
I just didn't like landing there a lot. The only reason, that was my first place to land because I saw that there was a roller coaster on it, and I was doing that for the entire match, and I ended up winning. So, the best way to say it is there's basically no mats. Inside there's there's a little bit of brick. And then other than that, there's a lot of loot, but there's not much to shine for it. And then Reality Falls. I didn't like the POI because I never dropped there. I'm gonna put in average. I don't really have anything to say about it because I've never dropped there. I know under the waterfall there's a lot of the 1 trillion HP pile of brick and stuff like that. But so I've heard it's a pretty good place for loot. Well, it's a tree, but you can't farm it, so that takes a little bit away. And then there is a few bricks, but other than that, I'm just keeping it at average. Rocky Rails. I would say it's a good POI because when the blimp was there specifically, it was amazing. I would drop there all the time before I discovered Coney. I would say it's a good spot for, like, if you want mats, but not like picking off mats off the ground, then I would tell you to go to Rocky. And then there are some bricks, so it's not great for mats, but if you want loot, you go there. That's all I'm saying. Alright, Shifty Shafts. I like Shifty Shafts because it has a really good amount of wood, and then there's quite a lot of brick that you can get there. And then along with that, there is a pretty good amount of loot. Sanctuary. I'm gonna put the Sanctuary in an average POI. Oh no, we only have one more POI slot. It's a good place for mats. It's okay for loot. And then brick, it's pretty good for. And then it also connects to the foundation statue and stuff. Alright, now Sleepy Sound. I'm putting this in another good POI. I like Sleepy Sound because, honestly, I do find quite a lot of brick there, and if you go to the left of it on the map, usually, maybe it's the right, I'm not sure, there will be a big patch of trees, which is great for wood, and then there is quite a few rocks there, so I would say it's probably going to be at the top of the good tier. The fortress. I'm putting this in a I'm putting the fortress in a good POI because, well, there are a lot of trees around it. You can get a mythic, so when it was in season 3 or chapter 3, I would drop there all the time, get the mythic, get a little bit of other loot, and that's the problem that I've come to. You don't really find that many rocks. You can find some metal on the little trailer yard on the left of it, and some wood in front of it and stuff. But the problem is, other than the mythic, you really don't get any loot. You get a blue SMG and a lot of minis, and that's it. So it's probably gonna be at the back at the good rating. Now next, this is a super hard picture, but this is the Joneses. Now the Joneses, hot trash. I actually thought it was an okay POI. We just kind of ran up out of room upstairs, and I do have a reason to put it in hot trash. There's a whole bunch of mats, really good. The loot, you don't really get that much, and there's not much brick either. Not really. Okay, well, last but not least, before I rank them diagonally, Tilted Town. I've never seen Logjam Lotus turn into Tilted Town. So whoever made this wheel, yeah, I'm talking to you. I don't know what to put this. If it was, I'm putting it if Tilted Town was still in the game, because like let's see. Hot trash. That's where it's going. Well, now I'm going to rank them diagonally. I'm going to start from amazing down to hot trash.